afternoon, and thank you so much for joining us again. Welcome back to another edition of Chatroom. My name is Kande.
And my name is File.
Okay, once again, we really appreciate you tuning in. Well, I guess we should just get right into it.
I think
Should
so
we?
too.
So today we're going to be talking about the over-sexualization of young women, young girls specifically, in our society. Mainly because we've noticed a trend lately, and it's been kind of a hot topic. So we just figure we'll get right into it because it's a hefty topic. There's a lot to discuss. So we're just going to capitalize on our time this afternoon. Sounds good?
Definitely.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to start us off. I'm not sure if you're aware, you probably are, probably aren't, but there has been this post going around after this very controversial situation happened sometime last week. So I'm just going to go ahead and read the post, and then we'll go ahead and give our feedback, our opinions, our ideas on it. So the post goes, you see adult women in society who like to expect little girls to make adult decisions about sex, etc., and shame on you. Half of us have men playing us like instruments and can't leave because of soul ties, but a little girl who is nowhere close to developed is introduced to sex way too early. All you want to say they're wicked, they're too fast, they should know better. Did you know better? Question mark. Stop the holier than thou magic, please, and remember all the stuff that you did for men that no one knows about at your big age before you open your mouth about them young girls these days, yada, 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 yada. Some of all you talking, I remember all the things you self did too, and I wonder, but grace and mercy is for all you alone, man. Question mark, SMH. So basically, it's become a pretty popular post. I've seen it have a couple shares. I've seen it on Facebook, WhatsApp, even on Instagram, as well as Twitter. So I just want to know, File, like what do you think about this post in relevance to our topic today?
You guys know I always like to ruffle a few feathers, but my humblest opinion is that while I agree with some aspects of what she's saying, I don't believe her defensive point, or the point that is, or the point on which her defense is based on, is one that we should really be applauding, or rather, one that we should be using as a defense for activities that are currently happening in our society. And when I say that, I mean she's now basically saying you're judging the young lady and you are saying that she should know better when you are not any better. That's basically the angle that she's coming from what I gather from the post. And I think it's more along the lines of, when should education start with our young people in terms of sexual education and in terms of healthy sexual education, which in and of itself are two different things.
Yes.
And while I agree, again, because this is the type of this was filed 2 years ago, but we also need to take into consideration that a lot has to be understood when we start talking about how our young people currently are being affected by how society is developed. And unfortunately, we live in a very dependent society, and meaning that we are always dependent on someone to help us with something. And again, socioeconomic issues and socioeconomic contributing factors can put someone in a situation where they're going to require from somebody assistance. Where the issue now comes in is when the assistance now goes into a quid pro quo type of situation where, okay, I need help with this, I need help with that. My mom, my dad can't help me with this. So I'm gonna ask Candy for something, but Candy is gonna ask me for sex in return, because that is just
the way it is.
And unfortunately, that is what is currently the norm in society. And this is not a norm in Dominican society alone. It's a norm across the world. And it is, the science shows, the statistics show that. And unfortunately, and I hate to have to be the bearer of bad news. This is not the only young lady in Dominica that this is happening to.
Yes, for sure.
And we have to take into consideration that it's a sad turn of events when you have to really look at everything that's going on, and people are trying to make her unfortunate situation about them.
Yes.
And her situation is her situation. My situation is not her situation. Your situation is not her situation. Does not change the fact that all three of us may be going through, to us, the same amount of struggle. But people also need to take into consideration, you cannot judge her. And this is where I will agree with this post, that you cannot put yourself and say, oh, she should know better. Because what she went on rightly to say, this is a young lady who was introduced to sex very early. And unfortunately, more than likely, I should say, because I wasn't there, but more than likely, she was not taught the right things and how to equate that, or how not to equate love to sex, which is an issue that we have.
Yes.
Where a lot of us are now saying, okay, hey, I love her, so I must have sex with her, or I love him, I must have sex with him.
Yes.
As opposed to, I can love you, but sex is something that's outside of it. Because you can't in fact have sex with somebody that you're not in love with.
Yes.
So when I'm saying, what I'm trying to say is that, and to bring it back, my thing is, I love the discussion. I love the fact that we're starting discussion, but I don't like the angle that she took.
And it's funny because I agree with what you say, but also I can definitely push back a little bit on what you were saying, because I really like the fact that she took it from a who are you to judge situation. Because I've noticed, like just in hearing the chatter about the situation, I don't think I have ever heard anybody ask the question like, why did he do that? Why did he think that was okay? Rather it's, why did she do that? Why she go behind the man? Or like stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I feel like not enough people are asking the right questions, and there's a lot of victim blaming and victim shaming going on, and that's why I really appreciated when she was like, there is really sort of like an unrealistic expectation when it comes to young girls, especially when they're in these situations, because the reality is, she is a child.
Well, she was a child. She's 18 now.
Well, she was a child. But still, even if she's 18, and that brings up another discussion, even if she is 18, a legal adult, that does not make it any more right than, how do I say it? Depending on the age difference, her being 18, her being 17, quite frankly, it is literally the same thing. Because if this man is 46 years old, that's hypothetically speaking, this man is 36 years old, I am 17. Okay, no, I'm 18. What makes it more right? Legally, we can go on and on about legality, age of consent, yada yada yada. But like the ethics of the situation. So I really need people to stop victim blaming and victim shaming these situations in general, because I need people to start asking, what is wrong with that man? You know, like, stop asking, where were her parents? I mean, that is a question as well, but this isn't her fault. You know, like, it is never the victim or survivor, because some people are picky about the language. It's never the survivor's fault. It's never the victim's fault. So I think as a society, we need to stop over-sexualizing young girls. And we need to stop putting that unrealistic expectation on them when it comes to navigating sexual situations. Because like you said, it really is about education. If you don't know, you don't know. We're in a codependent society. You don't know people's backgrounds. You don't know what people need, people's situations. So if all a young woman knows is if she needs to get XYZ, she has to do this, that, and the third with the man on the road, that should instigate a conversation, you know? Not blaming her, not saying young girls nowadays fast or yada yada, like no, but like why is that the norm? Like why is that often such a resort or the first resorts for a lot of people.
And this has, again, you see, there's a lot of hands that can be played here. Um, and one of the things that I think that contributes to where we are at right now in society is the fact that we are currently allowing social media to raise our children for us. And when I say that, I mean before society was one where Auntie Jane down the road used to go by every now and then. This person up the road used to go by every now and then. You would spend a couple weekends by granny and those type of things there. But now social media is what is raising, or is who is raising children for us. So the Cardi B's, the Megan Thee Stallions.
But
No, when I say that, I'm not saying that it is okay. I'm not saying that it is okay or that it is not okay that we are allowing social media, because I believe technology, if used well enough, can definitely thrive the nation. And I believe those who are promoting digital Dominica will agree with me. But but I think the issue is that when we allow social media to raise our children for us, there's a lot that is being taught to them through social media. Now, I'm not saying that. No, I want to make it very clear. Pedophilia is wrong. Full stop. It is wrong. It is wrong. It is wrong. Pedophilia is wrong. No, just want to let you understand that that's what I believe. However, when a young lady is now dressing like she is 25, but she's only 15, she's appearing, because a lot of young ladies develop much quicker than others, and will appear in a certain, or to look in a certain way. She acts a certain way because that is what she goes out to a party with her friends. She leaves the house dressing one way. She changes outside of the house because she knows that. And I'm not saying that this is this young lady's case, yeah. I'm just saying that this is something that it has happened, and I know of it happening and continues to happen in today's world. And you see them dressing in a certain way. They're dancing to WAP. They are twerking in public. They are behaving much older than they actually are. Now, instead of us trying to tell them you should not be behaving like this, we laugh, we kick off, we post it on our status, we enjoy it when we see fit this and fit that, and videos coming of our young ladies who cannot be older than 18 years old in front of the stage, shaking what God gave them. We have nothing to say up until the point. And this is where I will agree with her. We like to start to talk about issues at the wrong time. When we need to talk about it is when young people are out there. When young people are out there and are experiencing things, and experiencing things that they are too young to be experiencing, because again, they have not been taught otherwise. They have not been shown otherwise. And we are letting young people, and we're not letting young people understand, hey, there is something wrong with the way that things are currently going. And what will happen is that predators, such as the guy in this situation,
yes,
predators will come up and they will take advantage of these young ladies, because, again, it's not what, again, it's not even a defense mechanism at this point, because that's what they wanted. Because they wanted to be seen, and now they're being seen.
You see, I have to disagree with you. Not entirely. You actually have a really good point. I just feel like as a young lady in society, especially in Dominica, there are very few things that we have control over. And one of them is our bodies. And I say that to mean I was one of those, I got breast very early, you know, like I developed quickly, and I would dress a certain way, but the reality is clothes fit different bodies in different ways. You know what I mean? So that's just an issue where I would wear an outfit, and somebody who is probably flatter than I am or smaller than I am would wear the same outfit, but yet still the issue is only when I wear it. I'm trying to be grown. I'm trying to look older than I am. What do you want me to do? Do you want me to leave my body at home?
No.
Then there's a question about how appropriate my outfit is. are you telling me that my body is inappropriate? Because the reality is, it's either genetics, God knows what. But certain things, when a woman or a young lady, that's a young lady, when a young lady dresses, she is supposed to be able to feel comfortable. Some people are comfortable in crop tops. Some people are comfortable in sweaters. Some are comfortable in jeans. Some would rather go out in a body-fitted dress. But at the end of the day, people and society need to stop thinking that young women live for them. When I get dressed at my home, and I'm sure a lot of other young ladies can agree, when I get dressed at home, I am not dressing for the male gaze. I am not dressing for the attention.
So that's my point. That is you. Again, we also have to understand the culture that I'm talking about. The pop culture that I'm talking about is what Cardi B is teaching, what Megan Thee Stallion is teaching.
And I really love the fact.
And again, this is what is in their minds. Because again, now very interestingly, couple months ago, Cardi B was responding to a conversation that was being had about the fact that WAP. Those of you who are listening, you can go and research what WAP is. But basically, WAP, and it's a song that she has out, and a lot of young people are out there enjoying it. And it even made, there was even even here, there was a story of a young lady who was talking about 10K for the WAP, right? No, it is something that we have to really understand. That even if we are talking about self-expression, I'm not saying that what you are wearing, in no way am I trying to slut shame anybody. This is not what I'm saying. And of course, it is something that we have to take into consideration that, again, while you are not dressing for the public, but you are dressing and going out in public. So you are going to expect, even if you're expecting people to mind their business, you live in Dominica, it's not going to happen.
Oh, Jesus Christ. And it's actually really interesting because one of our Facebook commenters is saying that self-expression is healthy at a young age. Sexual experience should be taught at a young age by the parents and in schools. And I completely agree, because I think that's the side that I was leaning on. It's being able to express yourself as a young woman. And I know we live in Dominica. I know people are going to talk about how her pants so short and you can see her bra strap and you can see, I don't know, like her nipple. But I really wish, and I know it's kind of a naive thought, but I really wish that young girls were able to be comfortable in their skin. Because the reality is, like, and I think we were talking about this a few weeks ago when we were talking about confidence as one of our topics, and the reality of the situation is we have bodies. You know, we have bodies, we have legs, we have assets. Like, it is there. And I think if everything wasn't so hypersexualized, as, like, about our bodies, then life would be a dream. You know, life really would be a dream, but it isn't. I know that it isn't a dream. I know it isn't a dream. But at the same time, it's really just like, just because I decided to go out to a party and I decide I am having the time of my life and I am dancing to WAP and I am shaking what God gave me.
But Candy,
that
you are
doesn't
not 20.
give you what?
You're not 20. You're not 13 or 14. That's what I'm talking about.
You're right. You are correct. Okay, you're correct.
That's what I'm talking about. You are 20 years old and you can do as you please with your body. But my issue is
with the young girls.
We are allowing Megan Thee Stallion, we are allowing Cardi B and these other rap artists to raise our kids. And as I was saying, Cardi B raised this point. They were saying they told her she has a young daughter, whatever her name, Almanza, whatever her name is.
Her name is Kyrie.
Sorry.
Almanza, what?
Sorry. I apologize. Sorry, basically they were saying she has a young daughter, and what would she think is if her daughter is singing it? And she said her response was, she's not making music for her daughter.
She's not.
She's making music for
grown
adults.
folks. Exactly.
And even on that it says on the label of the song says explicit content. Viewer discretion is advised, 18+. So therefore, at this point in time, we have to be able to understand that the point I am trying to make is that when young ladies are going out, and I'm not saying that they cannot go out dressing with their short pants, because again, from small, that is what they wear. From infant, that's what they wear, short pants, this, because
it's hot. We're in the tropics.
We're in the tropics. What I'm saying is that you conduct yourself in a certain way up until that you can make a decision for yourself to do otherwise.
Regarding your body.
Regarding your body. Up until you have a decision-making ability. And I've always been a strong believer, because even in the health field, the age of consent is 16 at present. So you can go ahead and consent, yes, have sex with me at 16, but then you cannot access sexual preventative measures below the age of 18. And that to me is annoying.
That is a conversation, because you are so correct. Like, why at 16 can I make the decision, okay, I am going to have sex, but I cannot go to Jolly's and or go to my doctor and get a prescription for birth control? Or when I go to buy condoms, I'm getting looked at funny. Like, what?
Well, that even if you're at 16, at any age.
At any, well,
at
sure.
any age.
But like,
and which is the issue, guys, sex is something that is happening out there. And this is where you and I will come on to agree with each other right now, that y'all need to start minding your business. Because at the end of the day, what is happening out there is that a lot of young people are now being made made to feel ridiculed when they want to get themselves involved in the practices of, say, sex.
yes.
So you see them going by Planned Parenthood, you all have an issue. They go to buy condoms, you have an issue. They don't buy condoms, they get pregnant at a young age, it's an issue. What do you want
what do
from
you
us?
want young people to do? And
like, yo.
I feel you, because you are so correct. Because really and truly, I think sex is it's become such a taboo thing in society that people tend to stigmatize. I love that word, stigmatize. They like to stigmatize sex, because like you said, really and truly, if I decide I'm going to my doctor, I'm going to Planned Parenthood to look at my options for birth control because I figure I'm ready to have sex, or I am prepared to, start thinking about it, why are you judging me? Would you prefer I just go do it blindly? And then when you go do it blindly, or you too fast, or you wasn't ready, like it's all like there's no right way to handle having sex. And I think parents have a lot to do with that, because I personally believe
they're afraid to talk to their children about
exactly
sex.
If your young child, let's say 16, 17, if your 17-year-old daughter comes to you and is like, hey, listen, I have been talking to XYZ and I think I might be ready to explore, that part of our relationship, I think that parents should be able to create that space for their children. Okay, let's talk condoms. Okay, let's talk STDs.
But
STIs.
I find that it's too late. And that's for me, right? I think that we're living in a society that's moving very too quick for our children. And as soon as your child starts showing an interest and starts asking you questions that are along the lines of sexual education, I think you should start. And it should start as early as even when they're going to preschool, good touch versus bad touch.
Yes.
And you start having that conversation. Because again, I want to know that when my child goes out there, that my child knows that even if she doesn't have grown breasts, that someone should not be touching her chest.
Yes. Also, building off of that point, I think language is also a really important part of it, because something that I've noticed we do is we tend to censor conversations about sex a lot. It's breast. It's
not cacax, it's a vagina.
It's a vagina. It's not a cookie. And I think the reason the language is so important is because, let's say, right, I saw this post circulating on Facebook a couple of years ago. I've taught my little 3-year-old daughter that her private square, her coochie, is called her cookie, right? It's a cookie. Something happens, 10 to 1, she comes to tell you, Mommy, XYZ touched my cookie. Well, sure, honey. You know what I mean? You need to tell that child it is a vagina. So when push comes to shove, if something happens, if there's a conversation that needs to be had, that child can clearly tell you, Mommy, that man touched my vagina, not he tried to take my cookie. Because really and truly, you would tell the child to share her cookie, got it to share. You know what I mean? So language is important. We need to desensitize the topic around sex and sexual education and sexual health for children.
And again, and just to bring us back also, in no way are we trying to say that we are justifying the actions of pedophiles. That's not what we are saying.
Definitely not. Oh, no.
What we are trying to say is that while we are acknowledging, and this is where I've always disagreed with these posts, because they're saying, let's stop trying to tell our children dress better, but let's start teaching pedophiles to stop preying on our children. You will not be able to fix the issue, but you can always protect yourself. Same way, and I'm going to use COVID-19 as an example. You will not always protect yourself from getting COVID-19. Or you won't always, or you as an individual cannot eradicate COVID-19 from your surroundings.
Yes.
But you can implement measures around yourself to protect yourself from contracting COVID-19. In that same breath, we are not saying that that pedophilia is not an issue that we cannot tackle. But again, what we have to take into consideration that pedophiles look just like me and you. And when I say that, I mean that a lot of the pedophiles that are out there, they wear their ties, they wear their suits.
A lot of the pedophiles are Uncle Bobby and
they look
Uncle
just
Tim.
like me and you, and they have no shame. They will prey on your children right within the confines of your house.
Exactly, the safety of your home.
They will do all of that without no shame. And while your child is out there thinking that, well, Uncle Bobby came home, Uncle Bobby is here, and there are certain things that are going on, we have to realize that, hey guys, we have to take into consideration that our children need to be protected.
Yes, and perfect segue, because one of our Facebook commenters are saying some parents are to blame on how they dress their little girls. They are growing up in their mind that the right way, that is the right way that I have to dress. So sometimes grown men see these children and try to disrespect them. So parents, we have to set an example for our young boys and girls, and I could not agree more, because it all begins at home. You know, it all begins at home, and while it is never, again, I cannot emphasize, it is never the fault of the victim, ever. In the same breath, we need to do what we need to do to protect ourselves, and parents need to do what they can do to protect their children, because as heartbreaking as it is and as disappointing as it is, the reality is, if a grown man, a pedophile, sees a child, his interest, it's piqued. As far as he's seeing, it's fresh meat. So yes, you want to dress your child like a child. Yes, it is a child. She's supposed to be able to express herself freely. But there are monsters outside there in those streets. And oftentimes it starts with when a family friend is coming over, you tell them, hey, listen, go and change. Kevin coming. Or go and change. Uncle Stefan coming. You know what I mean? It goes both ways, because the reality is, if your little 2-year-old child cannot be in her little onesie in front of Uncle Stefan, you need to stop Uncle Stefan from coming to your home. Because what are you so afraid? Like, tell me, what are you so afraid of? Clearly, you know something that you want to share.
So guys, we've been talking a lot, and I think it's time for us to take
I think so too.
a very short break. We're going to be right back. Of course, we talk about the over-sexualization of young girls. Of course, you can feel free to, if you think that this is a very strong topic, or a topic that a lot more people should find out about, go right ahead and share the live. Let everyone know that on Kyrie FM, the young people talking about young people issues.
Right now.
Right now. So share the live right now. Like,
And we'll be right back.
Whatever you're doing, stop. Just share
And
the
just
live.
share it.
Of course, you can also send us a WhatsApp at 613-1307 or 245-29 2929. The number is going above my head right now, so you can go ahead and let us know what you think about this topic. Guys, we'll be right back. Stay tuned to Chatroom.
The 2021 hurricane season is upon us, and we do not want you to be caught off guard. Are you ready? Join Storm Tracker Tishan Gomes for Riding the Storms, a 30-minute program bringing you step-by-step information about the hurricane season, 6:30 p.m. every Monday here on Kyrie FM. Come on, let's all ride the storms together.
Your life. Talk to us. Should the age of consent be increased?
Do you think it's abuse to shame your child on social media?
Can you still be considered a real woman after cosmetic surgery?
What makes you angry?
Let's talk about it on Hot Topics.
Hot Topics. Hot Topics.
Tune into Kyrie FM every weekday from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. with your girl, Vanessa Bruno.
And your Borgia, Samantha.
Fire up your airwaves with the hot and spicy topics that you've been waiting for.
What are you waiting for? Tune in to Kyrie FM's Hot Topics, only on the genuine sound of Dominica.
Every Monday to Friday, join me, Selector Urban, on Kyrie FM, the genuine sound of Dominica, for Midday Readings.
Boy, anytime I touch you, it's trouble.
Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. 88.7, 93.1, and 107.9 FM. You can also tune in on www.kyriefm.com. Midday Readings on Kyrie FM. Lock it in.
Dominica Jams with Kyrie FM.
Hey guys, we are back in the chat room, and thank you so much for tuning in. Of course, before I go any further, I just want to encourage you, if you think that, not if you think, this is a topic that a lot of young people and a lot of Dominicans need to start talking about. So I want to encourage you at this point in time to share the live on all platforms you have, on WhatsApp, Facebook. We are everywhere. We want you right now to share the live. And of course, I encourage you guys, just before we went on break, to send us a WhatsApp message, and just like the good people you are, you followed the instructions very well. And we have a WhatsApp message here coming from
WhatsApp.
From WhatsApp. It's a number alone I seen, so I'm not sure if it's a male or female, so let me know. We as a people in a small country and are seeing these predators with young girls, and we ignore it. Then when something happens, we are able to speak out like we care. Too much hypocrisy with Dominicans, and I could not have said it any better. You want to know why?
Why?
Because when this situation happened earlier on in the week, you heard voice note after voice note after voice note, long the girl in her thing, long they together, long this, long that, long this, long that. And this is not the first time that this has happened. And I just get caught twice. Because you know, and you out there and you just running your mouth after the fact when the deed has been done. And you expect the issue to be fixed. So who is the fool?
A lot of people do that. And that is why, you know, personally, I've applauded the father, because take justice into your own hand, you know, because people know, they're talking about it, they're gossiping about it, they're judging her, they're judging him, but nobody is actually doing anything about it. Nobody is starting a conversation before the fact. Nobody is pushing buttons. Nobody is speaking out and trying to help the people in that situation until it becomes a popular topic, until it becomes taboo, you know, until it becomes mainstream media. Take justice into your own hands. Do what you need to do, because personally,
well, you see, This is where
when it comes to pedophilia, I will stand my ground. Do what you need to do, because the reality is that case will go to court, and what will happen?
But it will not go to court because again we have to understand.
So take it into your own hands.
But can they need to understand the full story in this situation?
I wasn't there. I don't know.
Again, that is my point.
I don't know. I wasn't there. But as far as I'm concerned, if you telling me,
because you were told that it's pedophilia, the young lady is 18 at present. No, wait. A situation happened. And this is the story that I got. Again, there's always 7 sides to the story in Dominica. You see, there's the truth, what you saw, what he saw, what the bird in the tree saw, and what I make up on down the road. You understand?
Yeah.
There's several sides to the same story. And the issue is that, again, in this way, he now reacting in this way is because of what had happened. And from the story I got is that the young lady, about 3 years ago, with this same young man, got into a relationship, and they were practicing, they were doing whatever they're doing. A baby came up from it, and now 3 years later, the young lady, the young man was engaging in activities with the young lady, and then sent a message to the father and said to the father that this is what's happening. Now, in this case,
I am so happy you said this.
Now, in this case, right, this is now 3 years later after the situation happened in 15. The case didn't call it. And it's arguably that in this case, when they were talking about the young lady was doing her thing and she enjoyed her thing, that this may actually be the case. But that does not justify it.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't justify it.
What I'm saying is no, in this present moment, the father's right is going to pass for his wrong. Because again, she's 18 years old.
Listen.
She is 18 years old.
That is a problem. So because I'm 18 years, because I know I'm 20 years old, I cannot be taken advantage of?
That's not what I am saying.
But according to the judicial system, yes, because
No. What it's saying is that from 16 and onwards, you can make a decision as to who you allow into your life, who you allow into your bed, or who you allow into your space. That is what it is saying. And this is where we have to start the discussion that it is not a matter of taking advantage. It's more along the lines of taking care of yourselves, young ladies. Right?
And men, leave young women, young girls alone. Because I could take care of myself, File, from now till December. But the reality is, and that is why I keep saying it is never the fault of the victim. It is never the fault of the survivor. Because, yes, there are situations
no, I'm not saying
where...
it's her fault.
I know what you're saying. There are situations where the person's a consenting adult, they do their thing, it's a untraditional age difference, but they're both consensually involved. But the reality is there are so many untold stories and unreported cases of situations where people are being taken advantage of by older men.
That is
so
true.
It's not that I'm not taking care of myself, but these predators, these grown-ass men who cannot keep their hands to themselves, who cannot tell the difference between my 16-year-old friend and his 35-year-old counterparts, like, that is where the problem lies. It is with the men, it is with the people, with the abusers. Okay, not with the young people being taken advantage of.
And I'm not, again, I'm not blaming them. I'm going to stick up in now. I'm going to come back. We have another WhatsApp message here. Personally, parents need to let their children know, once you're living under my roof, I am in charge. No big man sleeping with my daughters. None. I am prepared to sit in jail and make an example of one. Also, if your child completes high school and she's underage, parents, they are still children. Learn that completing high school does not make you an adult. I'm out. Okay, my dear or sir, whoever you are, you already have the wrong idea. To be very honest, this is not what we are trying to say. Even if, you see, you're now saying that no child of yours is going to have sex or have an older man. When you go along those lines there, behind your back, she's going to go. And we were having this discussion a couple weeks ago. When you start saying, don't touch the big red button, she's going to touch the big red button. As opposed to educating your child, of the dangers of touching the big red button. You teach them everything about the big red button. You take your time and teach them and let them because again, at a certain point in time, you have to let go of the wings. Don't clip them.
And on the other hand, I think this is an interesting discussion. On the other hand, I completely see where I see what she's saying. Catch a case for your child. Like, quite frankly, more parents out there need to be willing to catch a case for their children. Because the way I interpret her message is, she has her child. If she realizes her child is being preyed on, if she realizes her child is being taken advantage of, she is going to do what she needs to do to protect her child, because Mama Bear comes through. That is how it should be. So we need more I'm not saying take the measures that the father took last week, but more parents need to be willing to go to bat for their child and for their children. They need to be more willing to believe that, because that is a really big issue. Parents don't believe their children when they tell them, hey, mommy, XYZ happened, or this is happening
But that's
to
where
me.
the problem starts. And don't wait until something bad happens for you to not want to get all arrogant and violent and catch a fit or catch a case. And that's my issue. Because a lot of the times, the children are calling out for help. They're crying for help.
You're right.
Same way we were talking about the depression issue. A couple weeks ago, your child has hypersomnia. Your child is always sleeping. Your child does not want to interact with others. These are textbook symptoms of depression. And sometimes the child will come and say, Mom, I'm just feeling sad. I don't know why.
Yes.
Go and depress those dishes.
Yes, you're right.
And when it's time for us to have the hard conversations with our children, we send them in a book. And then wonder why they hate reading.
Yes, you are correct. I see what you're saying.
And then my issue is now, so when you go ahead, right, and you catch a case for your child, who you leaving them for when you're in stock farm? For the same Uncle Bobby?
Oh my gosh, well, no. When you put it that way,
Thank you very much.
Perfect segue into WhatsApp messages. So we have a message saying, the father can make a plea for temporary insanity because how else as a father can he react easily? I stand with you, female guest. Thank you for standing with me. I appreciate you for standing with me because I believe that I am right. The reality is, the reality of this situation is, right? I am not a lawyer. I have not been to law school. But I definitely, there are ways to navigate this. Because how are you telling me, you bold-faced provoking me, sending me a picture or video of you, I call it disrespecting my child, and it's the intention. I don't mind if those two were consensually involved, they were doing their thing. It's the fact that this man, out of spite, went out of his way to rub it in the man's face, and you're telling me what he's supposed to do, call the police? What he's supposed to do?
I'm not, again, we're talking about apples and oranges. This situation is a very particular situation.
Very specific, yes.
I don't know what I would have done in this situation because I am not in the man's shoes. I'm just saying that at the end of the day, that when we talk about catching a case for your child, ask yourself a question before we jump into it. Because all good and well for us to dive into it and say, yes, let me want to sharpen my cutlass, let me want to put the bullets in my gun. But again, who are you leaving the child for?
That is true. I did see somebody in the comments say that Dominicans as a people were way too reactive. And that is true.
Yes.
Because when push comes to shove, temporary insanity. It works. Like, it's gotten a lot of people off. It works. Because chances are you probably seeing red. Like, it works. I'm not saying go and do and have to plead temporary insanity. But I'm very well certain that in a case like that, the man probably up to now, he can't tell you what happened.
Which is true, but my thing is, don't wait until the last minute to get your children educated. This young lady is 18 and is already broken. The messages I saw that came up after, and I honestly, I'm gonna come back to that point. Of course, we have another WhatsApp message. I want to thank all of you for, of course, sending us your WhatsApp messages. If you, of course, want to join in on the conversation, numbers are 613-1307 or 245-2929. So this person here is saying, Father, it happening all around, all in the countryside. We have older men sleeping with young girls. The law not doing nothing.
Exactly.
Now pause. Let me ask you, to this person who is sending this message, while we are saying the law is not doing anything, how many of you have made an effort to report it to the law?
Right.
Because jumping on the fact saying the law not doing anything, again, we're very quick to take photos and put photos out there, but the information is not getting to who it needs to get to. I will get a photo of an accident before an ambulance even is called.
Yes.
And that's our practice. And so the person who sent the first message is not responding. Sir, you will not know how it feels unless you're in the position. One day, I hope when you experience that maternal instinct, you will come back on the show and let me know. In the meantime, stick to my
script.
trying to say stick to my script.
That is the reason, and that is the reason why I said what I said.
I love
because I feel I know you, and that is the reason why I said what I said. Mom, I'm gonna call you Kate. Kate, I definitely agree with what you're saying, because let me tell you, I am not a mother. I do not have children, but I know for a fact I have seen my mother and other mothers go crazy for their children because. Something as simple as, there was this one time my sister needed to be fed, blah, 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 and I've seen my mother literally cut clothes off of her body just to feed that child. So, mothers specifically, they will go above and beyond for their children. Mothers will do things, fathers will... fathers would do things, parents would do things for their children, and they would not even remember. Like I'm telling you, because it's a fact we are not parents, so we do not understand. You know what I'm saying? We're not parents, we don't understand, but people will lose their mind for their children. People will take jail for their children.
My point is, before you get to the point of losing your mind for your child, you must implore all necessary mitigating activities that you can possibly do, including and not limited to
not this technical language.
Educating your child very early on. And here's someone saying, as long as you're under my roof, you live and abide by my rules and regulations. If you're contributing to the bills, we can come to an agreement. Agreed.
Yeah.
Understood.
All that is part of giving independence to the child. It's making the child feel not like you're trying to control their life, but listen, if we can see eye to eye on something, if you're willing to do X, Y, Z, then yes, but definitely.
That's not what this is saying.
It's my interpretation of it.
That's not what this is saying.
My interpretation.
Because when you say my rules and my regulations, you abide by my rules and my regulations. No, I'm saying, no, in no way am I saying that you have to break rules or try to allow your child to walk on you. I'm not saying that in any way, shape, or form. But guess what? No, this is where this conversation I wanted to take it in. How many of you out there, parents, had rules and regulations that you had to abide by while growing up and still broke the rules? Still used to escape to go and as a local parents, take your thing. How many of you are asking, I'll wait? Because again, you can have your rules, you can have your regulations, you can do everything possible to ensure that your child knows I run things in this house. But the attitude cannot be my way or the highway. Because guess what? What's going to happen is the child is going to go to the highway.
And that is why I really like the part about we can come to an agreement. Because yes, there will be rules. The reality is I am your parent, you are my child. But that the fine line between rebelling and having a safe space. It's creating that opportunity for a conversation.
Exactly.
For you to tell me, listen, mommy, can my boyfriend come over? That doesn't mean he's going to stay. It doesn't mean he's going to stay the night. It simply means probably y'all can come over, chill in the living room, watch a movie. Y'all can probably sit on the porch. I don't know, whatever young people look like, you know. So it doesn't
Let him
mean
come over.
exactly like let him come over because I know. Okay, you have or you're talking to somebody, you're involved with somebody. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like we need to.
Hey, Lassie. Honestly,
these conversation.
these comments come in hard and fast.
I'm gonna tell you.
Hey, lass. So another viewer is saying, I understand the both of you. I did that and my parents found out 5 years after, and I still get a volley. Hey, lass, sorry, sorry.
But now imagine if you and your parents had come to an agreement. Or your parents had created that place for you to be like, listen, mommy, File coming over, or File and I going out. Where are you going? Probably at File home, or probably, I don't know, somewhere to chill. As opposed to you waiting for your mother to go and sleep. And you know, like...
So, another WhatsApp message. Father, let me answer your question. It's not that people don't speak out, but it have people being paid off to keep quiet. And when we see that's what's going on, we mind our own business. Let me ask you, why don't it have a unit to review cases when it comes out?
Isn't that welfare?
Yeah, welfare is supposed to be functioning in that capacity. Oh, here's another comment. Brick. So, a little bit of respect goes a long way in family, but it has to be mutual respect. While you expect your child to respect you,
respect your child.
You need to respect your
as
child.
an individual. And that's why it's important to not treat your child like your property. Your child is a person, especially if your child is growing older. Like, that child is a person with feelings, with expressions, with opinions, with a life. You know what I'm saying? So respect me, I will respect you, and I won't have to go behind your back. I won't have to lie to you and rebel.
And I'm telling y'all out there, right? Those of you who have this mentality, my way or the highway, and especially if you have teenagers, 15, 16.
Oftentimes it will be the highway.
More than likely, they're already on the highway. You just don't know. You just haven't seen it yet. I am telling you this. We say it now in youthful parlance, they belong to the streets. Trust me, I'm telling you guys. You just haven't seen it yet.
But they belong to the streets.
It's there. It's happening.
You just don't know.
You don't know. You will send them to they will know. You telling your parents that you go to the library.
I'm so sorry.
What I'm saying, no, I'm not saying candy in terms of you used to do it. I'm not saying, but like, we're young people, we know the tricks of the trade. So children nowadays are allowed to do whatever they want. I have 5 children, and none of my children act like the children of today. The way I see them on the streets of Roseau, especially these little girls. Unless you have your child under your wings 24/7.
You don't know what they're doing all the time.
They know how to act in front of you and how to act in front of their friends. We suffer from multi-personality disorder. It's just a thing.
Let's just, that comment right there, that comment is exactly what is wrong in society today. Do not judge. Oh my gosh, listen. You don't know what your children are doing. When you send them school, chances are they're probably not. If you send them by their friend Jessica, she probably by Kyle. Like, I just feel like, do not, boy, I'll speak. Because I just got so passionate because like that is exactly what is wrong with our society. That is exactly the problem.
And comparing your children to other children.
Exactly.
Especially in front of them. Oh, why are you not like Candy? Why are you not like File?
But if I have to tell you what Candy does do, mommy,
like it does be going from a minor.
Exactly.
like you know when you're having those internal arguments with your parents when they're shouting at you.
Like, boy, tell her. I should tell her, but I can't expose Candy like that. So
if you knew she used to go to the library and it's not that she used to do, you know.
Exactly.
All my children are Christians, my dear. They would never get into the things these young girls are getting into. Okay. Well, I'm happy.
Congratulations. I'm happy you have found the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
I just do hope that you have 24/7 surveillance around your children and that Jesus. You know wherever your children go, that's what they're doing. And again, I'm not saying that this is impossible, yeah? That your child can be okay in terms of like, and let me not say okay. because that would suggest that the other children are not okay. I'm not saying that your child cannot be on the straight and narrow at this age. But what I am saying is that be very careful of how tight you want to put on those shackles. Because even pressure does burst pipe, guys. At some point, they are going to revolt. And then I call it the pastor's kids phenomenon. I've always called it that. And a friend of mine used to say, why are you saying that? Oh, but I say it's true. That's what happens with pastors' children. They are out there and, oh, my child is good and mighty and you need to control your children and you need to do this, you need to do that. Every Sunday we're preaching what you're supposed to do with your children. But guess where your daughter is every Friday night?
Oh.
Guess where your son is when he tell you go to the library?
But it's true. It's true. It's always those that are held to like a certain, and sometimes they do it solely out of, like, just to rebel, you know? Like, they do it just so that they can prove a point, just so they can, literally just so they can do it. Because you have put this pressure on me for my entire life. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to use this.
I'm 22 years now, so I think I can say this. I remember when I was 14, my dad found out I had a Facebook account and did not want me to have Facebook. So he told me delete the Facebook account. I showed him that I delete the Facebook account. Normal. The next day, I created a new Facebook account. And it just so happened that I wanted to see how long that I could have, and to this day, that's the same Facebook account I have.
Wow. Just expose yourself.
Yeah, I can't do it.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that, and in no way am I, to the young people out there, am I saying it's okay to revolt, or it is okay for you to and I think this is where we should also lead the conversation to the young people who are listening to the show. I want you to understand that it's going to be difficult in some situations because a lot of your parents are broken and traumatized and have built into a society of it's my way or the highway. You live under my roof, you live under my rules, which is all good and well. Yes, it's your roof, your rules, yada yada. Preacher vile. But what I want you to understand is at the end of the day, you need to be able to find somebody that you can have a comfortable conversation with, that you can learn from. And it's all good and well for me to say, hey, I want to do this, I want to do that, but you need to learn. Because, guys, sex is not something that is running, as my grandmother used to say. Sex not running.
Not going nowhere.
Not going nowhere.
It's been here for a while. It's going to be here after.
And the other thing is that I have a lecturer at nursing school used to say that pregnancy and HIV have the same modes of transmission. And meaning that at the end of the day, while you're going out there looking for excitement and looking for that thrill, looking for that joy, looking for that ecstasy feeling that you want, at the end of the day, you have to have at the back of your mind that sex in and of itself has its risks.
Yes.
And you must protect yourself at all times, my dear friends. And
sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just saying that I think I just found the comment with the perfect note to wrap up on. So whenever you're ready to wrap up, just let me know, and I'll go ahead and share that comment.
I think I generally have gotten to my point. Basically, I just want you all to know that we have to be able to create safe spaces for our children.
Yes, for sure.
And this is where the conversation starts, because over-sexualization of young girls starts from under-education.
Yes.
And starts from creating within their minds this idea that sex is taboo, that boys are bad, that this is bad, that is bad, and creating for them that sense of excitement going after what mommy and daddy say is wrong. So to the young people out there, this is my message to you, that you have to hold strong. You have to try your best to do whatever is necessary to protect yourself, because if you do not, what will happen is that people are going to take advantage of you, and that's a sad thing.
And to the parents out there, I'm going to be just reading one of our comments. The best thing to do is to try to build a relationship with your child and remember that you were a child once upon a time. Because the reality is, as young people, we're all just trying to navigate life. You know, like we have never done this before.
We're still doing this. Like
Exactly. Like I have never done this before. I've never been 20 before. Like, you know, she has never been 18
and by
before.
the time you get the hang of it, you're 21.
You're 21, you know, but you parents, you have, you know. So I feel like instead of telling them, I was your age once, you know, like actually tell them, listen.
And don't be afraid.
I was your age once.
Even though they're squirming and they
Exactly. Like, you know,
I mean,
it'll happen.
have the conversation.
Exactly.
I'm not saying force them, you know. But once they start showing that interest,
Yes.
you give them that, you have
Create
to
the
push it.
space.
Yeah.
Create the space for them.
Alas, we ran out of time.
Yes, we did. Wow.
But we're having so much fun. But of course, if you enjoyed the conversation that we had today, of course, you can tune into Chatroom every Saturday from 4 p.m. right here on Kyrie FM live on Facebook as well as on YouTube. Want to thank all of you who would have joined in on the conversation.
Much. Thank you so much.
Please be sure to share the live even after, because guess what? This is going to be up on the Kyrie FM Facebook page even after we have gone off air. We just want to let everyone understand that we are. This conversation was for the development of young people.
Yes, and the benefits.
And the goal of this show is for the development of young people, giving them a space to have conversations about things they are interested in.
Yes.
So, as always, stay safe. See you next week.
And thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great weekend. Bye.
Hey, what are you doing?
You don't hear what that going on every Saturday on Kyrie then?
Kyrie, what did you have on that?
Boy, a new talk show them man have there.
True no boy. What that's about?
Yeah boy, them man gonna talk about topics that we interested in and thing. The show is called Chatroom, so you know it's yucky vibes.
WhatsApp group chat vibes, man. I go make the turn.
I telling you, Saturdays from 4 to 5 on Kyrie FM is deadly cinema.